Welcome to the Crochet Business School podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Thomas, and I'm going to help you to make your crochet business dreams a reality, stitch by stitch, without you being chained to your hook and being able to live that lifestyle you've been dreaming of using the power of your crochet. Have you ever felt like your crochet is invisible? That no matter what you do, nobody sees your social media posts, your YouTube videos, your Etsy listings, your blog posts, nothing. Nothing seems to be getting seen, and no matter what you do, you just feel completely invisible, and what's the point of it all? We've all been there at some point or another, and it feels like you're talking to nobody. Like there's nobody on your social media, nobody sees your videos, nobody sees your pictures, nobody sees your text posts, your reels, your stories. And what is it going to take for people to see you? And if you've ever felt this way, if you do feel this way, I promise you, you're not alone. This is kind of the reality for a lot of people right now. If you are following tactics and strategies that people were using even 2 years ago, it's not going to work anymore. It was so much easier before. So much has changed, both on social media platforms, for Google, for newsletters, and for YouTube, for Pinterest. All of it has changed. And it has changed so much in a very short space of time. It means what worked before will not work now. This is kind of most prevalent on social media, Facebook especially. Instagram has been hit hard too. People are up in arms about Pinterest. And recently, Google updates have meant that people don't feel like their blog posts are getting found either. So how do you get found? How do you get your crochet seen? Because after all, you cannot make those sales, you cannot see those profits come in unless people, your customers, your viewers, your readers can see you. I think part of it is you have to look at what has changed. It wasn't so long ago where you could create a couple of posts and something would go bananas. If you had the right kind of catchy first sentence and a good picture, you could very easily get lots of comments, lots of shares, and it would go a bit bananas. 5 years ago, I released my first crochet along, and I put a handful of posts up on Facebook, and it went nuts. But if I tried to do that now, it would not have the same result. It doesn't matter how good my picture is, it doesn't matter how good my catchy first line is, it would not happen. And the reason is because social media has changed so much. A lot of these platforms that kind of existed on their own before, they've now got shareholders. They went public. They had these release of shares, which meant that they had to bring more money in to justify their share prices and to pay their shareholders. So they started making things a bit more difficult. And the reason being is there's big business to be done on Facebook. There's a lot of businesses being run on social media platforms. Now remember, social media platforms were not created with business in mind. They were created for people to connect with each other. It's just that businesses found a way to make it work for them. And they're free to use. You do not pay for social media. You are running a business on there, making money from that business and paying nothing to the social media platform. That's why things changed. Social media platforms want a piece of the pie. They want to encourage you to pay for ads because that's how they're going to make money from you. However, the people who do run ads are also saying it's getting much harder for their ads to get seen. Why? Because now so many more people are running ads because businesses realize this and run ad campaigns, and now businesses are competing for the same ad space. So it's now more difficult to get your ads seen. It's tough all round. Add to that the different kinds of post and way you can interact on social media. Because it used to be you have page that you could add pictures on, you could add video on, but it was just the feed. Now you've got stories. Now you can do the live streams. Instagram, you can now do reels. But people say the grid is dead. The grid isn't dead. It just needs a lot more effort, a lot like Facebook. Pinterest brought in idea pins and started prioritizing video a lot more. TikTok got invented and went bananas. There are so many more options and ways to use these platforms now. And depending on kind of what's in fashion, depends on what type of content these platforms prioritize. Right now, it's short videos because of TikTok. So Instagram is prioritizing reels. Facebook is prioritizing stories. They're prioritizing video in general. And then, of course, they've gone to war on links in posts because they want people to stay on the social media platforms. So if you put a link in your post, it's automatically going to be pushed down your feed and be shown to fewer people, because a link means that you are trying to get people to go off the platform, and they don't like that. So they punish you for it by not letting your post be seen by as many people. The way to get around that is to put the link in the first comment of the post, but that's also being picked up on now. So now you kind of need a few comments before you can put the link in the comments, which just makes life harder because now you are going to have trouble scheduling your posts because you need to put the link in. If this sounds like it's absolutely crackers right now, it's because it is. It can feel like no matter what you do, you can't win. And it's the same everywhere. But it also means that everyone is having the same problem. The only way to deal with it is to keep calm and carry on. Keep posting. Making sure what you post is interesting to your audience and that you are using all the different types of posts available to you is the only way to do it. Social media is really hard work right now. And it's one of the reasons I'm not really using it because I just don't have the time or the energy to put into it. I prefer using ways that are going to get me found for days, weeks, and months to come. So things with search engines like Pinterest, my blog, Etsy listings, Ravelry listings, YouTube. These things are evergreen. Social media, you put a post out and in just a couple of days, it's not relevant anymore. No one's going to. I'm not saying you shouldn't use social media. I'm saying you should be aware of how much work it's going to take to keep getting seen. You've got to keep putting out new posts all the time. New videos, new images, and new text posts, new reels, new stories. You've got to go into other people's groups and start commenting and getting their attention. Social media platforms reward you for being social. They reward you for going out and interacting with other people. So if you want your posts to be seen by more people, you have to go and interact. You've got to play the game. You've got to play the system. And the same is true for everything else. Pinterest has also seen massive changes. And although it's still true that your pins will get found forever if the right search term is put in, you are now competing with people who pay for ads. However, Pinterest also needs pins to put in between the ads. So your pins will still get found, but it takes more time for them to appear in people's feeds because it's taking Pinterest more time to decide whether you're spam or not. And this is why really Google has taken a hit as well. It's the anti-spam. They try to bring in changes so that people don't get spam results in search terms. So when you hit that search button, you get genuine results. The problem is it takes time for the bots to do their work and to go and figure out if content is real or not. Because AI is coming as a factor. The amount of AI generated blogs out there is unbelievable. And they're really badly written. I don't know if you can come across any, but I've managed to click on a few blogs and they've obviously been written by AI. They are terrible and you don't want them. And so these anti-spam rules have come in to try and get rid of it or push it all down the feed. It means that if people have written things that are just really keyword stuffed and don't read very well, they are seeing their content pushed down. Does genuinely written blogs by humans get caught up with this by accident? Yes. And that's where the issue comes in. It takes time for everything to fall back into place. Eventually, things will bounce. And they will bounce back to normal as long as you have genuine, human written content. It will bounce back up. But in the meantime, we're all stuck. You are not alone with this issue. So many business owners are having the same issue, and it's not just crochet, it's across the board. So many people feel invisible. But the only way to get revisible is to kind of double down on your efforts. Really think about what you're posting. Really think about what you're writing, the videos you're creating. Is it interesting to your audience? Do they want to see, hear, and read it? Are you asking them to do something? Are you asking them to answer questions? Are you asking them to click links? Think about what the purpose of your posts are. Gone are the days where we can just post anything just so we have the sake of posting something and think that it's going to do the job for us. Your photos need to be excellent because you've got to stop the scroll so people will see your crochet. You're going to have to embrace video more. So, because all the platforms are prioritizing video. So if you want to get visible, video is king. Be careful how you use AI. ChatGPT feels like an amazing tool, and it is. It is a fantastic tool, but it's really easy to be lazy with it. You cannot use what it gives you without modifying it first. You've got to be really careful using AI-generated content. No matter what platform you're using right now, whether it's social media-based or SEO-based, you're going to have trouble right now. But everyone's in the same boat. And I'm afraid the only thing you can do is keep trucking. Carry on, but being a lot more mindful of what you're posting, making sure every post counts and that is written for your audience so that it's something they are going to be interested in, that's going to catch their attention, and encourage them to comment, to react, to share, because only with interaction on your post will your post get any traction and get more visible. If you're riding out the issues with search-based things like YouTube, Pinterest, and Google have, you just got to ride it out right now. It will bounce back once these kind of anti-spam changes take effect and once everything settles, things will bounce back. But just keep going. We will get there. We will find solutions. We always do. And in the meantime, it's just a case of carrying on. Double down if you have to. Carry on otherwise. You are not alone with this issue. Everyone is in the same boat. And we're just riding out the storm. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Crochet Business School podcast. Stay tuned for more episodes and please subscribe to wherever you listen to your podcast. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Crochet Business School. Subscribe to the channels because I would love to hear from you and what you're up to in your own crochet business. If you have any questions about creating and growing your own crochet business, please send them my way and I'll answer them in future episodes. So thank you for joining me and I shall see you in the next episode. Bye for now.